Right, so last session, we were on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and some cultists came, and Landon decided to snipe every one of them, except for one who, was critically wounded in the throat by an arrow.
Was probably going to die.
He's bleeding out.
Did not stop the summoning of the giant beastie
He's just explaining.
that came and killed everybody but Brian. And then a literal god and his wife showed up and saved everyone. And now we are back on the ship that has not been destroyed, and everybody is not dead. Nothing much has changed for you, Brian, because I forgot you were on top.
I'm going through some existential problems right now. I saw everybody just get disintegrated and then back together. I'm in my mech hot tubbing right now, just trying to relax, diffuse.
Then
Cleanse the mind.
I've seen some weird stuff, man, but that's weird.
when you're below the water, stuff like that doesn't happen.
No.
You just stay in pieces, and then fish just jump.
You return back to Mother Ocean. This was not that.
We remember everything that happened, though, right? It's not like
You remember, aside from, actually dying, you don't remember when you died, but you remember that you should be dead. You remember massive trauma as gigantic, thunderous waves hit your body and, did some major things. You're going to need a sea therapist.
I think I'm done
Or two.
drinking.
and I have that thread.
You have another personality.
Yeah, we'll go even deeper.
Thread now has a protector.
Yeah.
So you guys are on the boat. It's the middle of the night still, and Captain Taslin kind of rings the bell and says, I don't know what just happened here. That was some crazy stuff. Luckily, and she name dropped my friend Mizit, the Abyssal Goddess. She came and she saved us. So I think maybe we should just rest up.
There was something else that Thread knew. I forget what. I can't remember what it was, but there was something that he passed or knew something. I need to pull somebody right now.
I got you.
The note guy shot everything.
Got it. Cool. That is exactly the question I was going to ask. I'm glad you wrote that down. Never mind. We're good.
Okay. So she dismisses everybody except for a little bit of the crew to get everybody back to the shore, and she turns to her first mate and says, get us to port as fast as we possibly can. And then she retires down into her quarters, and everybody else is eventually told, hey, do what you need to do, we're getting on our way. So, anybody want to do anything, or everybody hitting the bed? What's going on?
I'm hot tubbing it. I'm trying to let this
Just-
all melt
So-
away.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah. I am the gentleman.
There's no blood from or evidence of the fight or anything
No,
like that, right?
no.
It's all gone.
Nope.
Bummer.
Just everything just seems like it is just not happened.
Distinct lack of red meat.
Problem.
There's not enough white in it.
You heard.
Emergency therapy session at sundown on the starboard.
You heard Mizit asked her husband Troon to turn back time. And
It's true.
that was the god that came down and saved you. And seemingly what happened is Troon did that. And so the ship is just like it was before the fight. The only things that you guys are noticing right now is that the cultists aren't there, and the giant monster that came and destroyed everyone in the ship except for Brian, who's a cheater.
I was so close. to
Climbing
saying
is
spot
not against
source.
the rules.
Yes, yes, yes. You climbed up on top of it, and I forgot you were there. Had I remembered, I would have had it thrown you forward. Anyway, you get to live extra trauma because it's like
Yeah, because I saw it all.
you saw all of your buddies just like die in front of you and get brought back, and now you're just like,
Neat.
I don't know what just really happened.
These old bones are not used to this kind of nonsense anymore.
Yeah. So the ship, no blood, no splinters that weren't already there.
I want to get
Yeah.
out of my hot tub and sneak and check on him real quick.
I am standing post outside the doors. I have fully quit alcohol. Standing post.
You mean you fully quit vinegar?
Yeah, vinegar.
I specifically want to look at his appendages. Does he have all of them, or is one of them still
I'm
missing?
still missing my hand.
He
You
is
did
still
say
missing
that.
his hand.
Yes.
Okay, so not all is wrong with the world. We didn't go that far back. Okay.
For the
better
mistakes.
Now you're wondering if you like had like a mental lapse.
I want to know like how far back we went back in time. So not that far.
We
but
we
not
went
that
back in
short.
time enough to where the cultists didn't show up, I presume.
So Brian's sitting there going, did I just have an episode where I imagined my friends die? Or did they actually die?
Yeah, pretty old.
I am old. I am starting to think I have a senile moment right now. This is how it starts.
To further that.
I was really annoyed with the robot and his alcohol turned to
Shenanigans.
vinegar. Did I like just
The
imagine
vinegar is
like
his fault. It is completely his fault.
I'm not gonna say sorry about it.
I fault implies someone's guilt. There's no guilt involved. Yeah, so everybody's you're standing guard at the Soridge's cabin. Everybody else
Like,
is.
can I stand guard with them?
If you
I
want to stand guard,
won't allow
with them,
you
What
within a
happened to the
room.
cultists?
Okay, so you know there was cultists.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
were
thing that
here and then
actually
I
happened.
went into my safe space and then everything, nothing, they went away. I must have pacifisted them away.
You
Emphasis on the
died.
fist.
You know that, right?
No?
Okay.
I was zenning out. There were cultists. Somebody was sniping them, like aggressively, and I got a little bit like frustrated, and so I did my deep breathing,
Uh-huh.
and then they were gone. I can only assume that they were so impressed by my calm attitude that they decided to row away.
You know, I'll believe it. I'll believe that at this point. The story will
Wait,
go
can
on.
you go back to the thing you said that I died?
So you said you went to Zen, right? Well, you Zened apart. Like everybody, the boat went, and everybody went.
Yeah, but the boat's still here, so that's not true.
You look. I don't know what's wrong.
You know what? I think that you're having a problem with words not quite describing it. I've got a solution.
Do you?
Paint it. You know what they say about a picture? It's with at least 7 words. Some are worth more.
Yes. Like
Doesn't change
the
lives.
word more. Okay. Yes, I will go paint.
Usually if a conflict happens, I find myself with a surplus of paint, and I haven't found any.
Speaking of, this brush is dry.
Yeah, alright, here's violet red paint.
Do I know if this is actually paint or do I know if it's blood?
Roll a perception check.
One.
Perception 9.
I'm not
You-
lying to him as far as I know. So
Yeah.
just so you're aware.
So with
I'm-
a 9, you're like, he's an artist, he's a painter, he's handing me something that he calls paint. It's paint.
It's pretty thin paint, but it's paint.
But I mean, I think that depends on how long it's been in that bottle.
It has lovely, like, a brown tinge to it. How'd you do that?
Well, I find that the longer I keep it out in the sun, well, depending on how long I'm in my Zen space, changes the colors.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I'm not used to this whole painting idea. Paint doesn't work well underwater. It usually just kind of floats away.
You might want to use chalk.
Chalk also tends to just disintegrate.
Yeah, it's true. I've never tried painting underwater. Maybe I'll try it one day.
I'm very partial to etchings myself.
Yeah, that might actually be a good idea. Sometimes I get these like, they look like fingers with nails on them, and I call them pencils.
Pencils.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got one.
Ah!
That's like a bone.
A piece of graphite on it.
No, it's like a fingernail that's been sharpened down like a pencil. I don't know how else to describe it.
I just like, yes, yes. Intricate carving tool.
Yeah, so anyways, paint or draw. Us dying might make you feel better.
I'm gonna try and actually paint the depiction of this beast, fire breath and destroying while I'm like climbing on its head.
Yeah, do a.
Actually, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna paint with you. I'm gonna try and paint what you've described.
Yeah, like arts and crafts check. Like you don't have painting performance, I guess.
For doing performance, it's a 13.
You know what? You do a better than average job painting it. Like for a person who's lived their entire life underwater and having only like interacted with people who own paintings on land, you took to it surprisingly well. And so yeah, it kind of resembles the big flying monster that beset you guys.
And so you see here, I included the splintering of the wood as it eviscerates everybody on board.
That's quite an interesting the depiction of what you say happens.
And he's idea from the perspective of me on top. Away from the danger.
So you're saying that you didn't die,
I did.
but I did.
You and everyone else.
No, I think I would remember dying. Sounds like something that would be traumatizing. I wouldn't forget something like that. Wait, actually, that doesn't make sense because I don't remember.
I need to ponder this. Does one remember when they die?
Yeah, you can bring up a good point. Maybe I died before, but now, because then I wouldn't remember you. The last time that I didn't.
died before, then you wouldn't really be here to tell me you remembered now, would you?
Well, if you're saying that I died and I came back this time, maybe I died before and I came back, that's why I don't remember. But then I'm thinking that since I do remember before I died, according to you, I didn't actually die. What do you think of my painting? I rolled a 15, by the way.
Yours looks exactly like he described it because you're a painter. Yeah, like the words you were saying, you painted them.
Big monster.
So it's like slightly more detailed than his, just because you're like more familiar with how to paint stuff like that.
And I think the one thing I'd like to try and suggest is maybe the painting when I painted had something to do a little bit more with the guy that I remembered. What's up, whatever his name was.
I'm just like so slightly jealous that you're better than me. Like, oh no, the shadows look no wrong.
He's like,
Yeah, well, it's called interpretation. I
It
didn't,
looks like you have two light sources going on.
you're the one, you described it to me. So, I mean,
And you're a
everyone's a
fish.
Look, just because I said that the beast was glowing and down during the day doesn't mean there's two lights. Look,
Yeah,
it's
do you know what the
it's
thing?
fine, it can pass.
There was the moon, and it reflected on the water, and the water reflected up. That's why there's two directions of light. I've been doing this for at least a year, since I was
Any
cognitively
light
aware.
on the moon is fake. All the lines go straight, not curved in.
I feel like you're trying not to talk about the point where everybody died. I feel moderately more consumed with that.
And so where are you guys? Are you guys like below deck, like where you guys are sleeping doing this, or
No,
Are you-
I'm
are
staying
you-
my neck up there.
you're
I'm
on top
side, yeah.
top side?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the sailors that are like out there, like they hear you talking about having died, and they clearly remember the sea beast, like coming and doing horrific things to the ship, and they're just kind of like not engaging you, like because they're like wondering if they're crazy too, and he's like, I don't remember any of this. You're crazy, and so they're just like kind of like nodding at you, like we know.
Right, the shading's off.
and so they just kind of like, they're going about their, they're like doing the sails, and they're like, yeah, we died.
Actually, I think that one is a wrong shade of green. Make it a little bit more lighter.
It's because it's red.
You're
Yeah, we didn't have paints.
you're downstairs. You don't even know
Yeah.
that paint
And
is happening.
colorblind.
I don't know about that.
Alright, so painting's accomplished.
He's drawing. Well, not the best base paint.
Anything else you guys want to do before calling it a night?
Is there a mop near where I am?
A mop?
A mop.
Why don't you, yeah, there's a mop.
I decide to clean all 3 rooms thoroughly and clean the little passageway.
Was there another mop that I can clean?
I
with
will
it?
not let you near the passageway I clean because that is the space where I am protected.
Can I clean the biggest part of the ship?
If you want to clean instead of taking a long rest, go for it.
Okay. Do I make
It's
a
on mission.
check?
What?
Do I make a check?
You don't need to make a check, you just clean. How long are you going to clean for?
This entire night.
Go. Yeah, you're gonna
Sounds about right.
end up taking a point of exhaustion.
Robot.
I think he's trying to impress his brother.
That's
He's
right.
supposed to- I don't know why he wants to clean shit. It looks nice enough for me.
Other crewmen are like cleaning and just keeping busy doing ship stuff, and he's just like, I'm cleaning too. He looks over at his brother, says it. I'm cleaning better than you can. Your place looked like crap.
You pissed on my bed. I'm gonna hit you next.
Yeah, okay, so with that, the night passes. You do take a point of exhaustion for not sleeping.
Had I taken point of exhaustion?
So what happens with 1 point of exhaustion is that you will have disadvantage on all of your ability checks.
Ouch.
Since you did not rest, you went and cleaned as well, also have a point of exhaustion.
Yeah. Wait, how do I get exhaustion?
Because you have to take a rest too. Just because you're a robot doesn't mean you have to take a rest. You can't take a rest.
They gotta recharge the batteries.
You have to enter your sentry mode.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So you both have a point of
I went to
exhaustion.
sleep last night.
How did that happen?
Like when you don't
man,
plug in your
combat.
phone before
It
bed.
affects everybody differently, alright? Some people
That's
clean,
true.
some people don't sleep.
Yeah. Landon's here.
I'll for the options.
Yeah.
Well, it's a cleansing moment. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna clean.
Yeah, you got all Kaladin going. I don't know what happened. Mop. Mop. Mop.
I'm
Then
gonna
you got
get
Kolf. Kolf is like, clean the room for my masters.
you. Well, and it's like perfectly clean. Like
More vinegar smell.
Yeah.
that would be
so,
permanently on there.
The night passes. The next morning, you all wake up to the sound of the bell on the top deck ringing for everybody to come up again.
Am I what?
Ding 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 ding
Am
ding.
I the top deck?
You're on bottom deck.
You guys were below deck. So everybody, that's the for everybody to come up. Captain Taz has something to talk to you guys about. Does everybody go up there, or anybody?
Look, the last time this bell rang, there were some cultists.
Yeah, they usually ring it when it's kind of important.
Let's just take the rabbit guns.
It's probably best that we do make our way.
Yeah, that sounds like a good point.
I'll go up.
All right. So everybody goes up, and Captain Taz waits for a majority of the crew to come up. She seems kind of impatient. Something's going on, and she says, "Well, I have a bit of troubling news for everyone. I'm sure everybody, if you can remember what happened last night, then may the gods bless your soul. If you don't, the gods have already blessed your soul. That was some truly horrific things that happened last night. One of the consequences..."
I was right.
Yeah, let's do I don't remember anything that happened last night.
One of the consequences of what happened appears to have something to do... I don't know quite how to say this. Last night it was the middle of summer. We checked our star charts to make sure we were still on course to Targe. After the engagement, none of the stars were where they were supposed to be. And after we consulted many of our charts all night long, we found charts that matched, and it seems to be in the middle of autumn now.
That's weird.
It seems like we're in the middle of the ocean.
It does not behoove me to speak ill of deities much of greater power than I. But they said go back in time. I do believe this is quite the opposite.
Everybody is like quiet except for you making that comment. And Captain Taz says, "Far be it from me to question gods, or to divine how the gods work themselves. But something has happened. We are now months behind schedule. So it would have been like mid-July-ish, and now it's probably late September, to put it into our terms. And so...
It seems weird. Does that happen at sea a lot?
Going to tell you that this is the first time this has ever happened that I am aware.
Perhaps we can use this to our advantage. If we were being chased by certain entities and we've seemingly to have disappeared for many months, they do not really find us, do they?
That would be one advantage to having disappeared from existence. I really don't know how it worked. I don't know if we disappeared and reappeared. I don't know if we just stood here and people passed by us for months. I really don't know what happened. But we've been here in the same position for what seems like a couple of months now. It would be reasonable to think that anybody who is chasing us believes us to be dead, possibly by the sea monster.
Why is Autumn chasing us?
Autumn is the season we're in.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. Anyways. We are on course for Targe as fast as we possibly can. We do want to let you know that the sea is going to be much more turbulent this time of year, as the moon and the tides are quite a bit different. If there are no other questions, you may go about your duties and whatever leisure activities that will keep you away from my crew. And she like looks at you.
I wave. I do the biggest wave possible, like this.
How much longer until we get to Taj? Taj?
Should only be a few days.
I believe it was Page.
Several days then, right? Okay. I guess I'll go back to continuing to learn how to work on a ship. I think that's what I was doing before.
I learned what mop is.
I want to try and like spend the day because we're at shore now, right? We're at like a dock.
We are not.
We're not.
We are still in the middle of the ocean.
Still in the okay. Yeah.
You're on your way towards Targe.
Alright.
It'll be a few days.
Alright, so we're still in the middle of the area.
The water is a bit more choppy now, and so instead of like a nice smooth sail that you were having before, it's much more of the goosh, goosh.
Can I make that stop somehow?
You're gonna stop the ocean?
Try shooting.
Yeah, just kill the
Don't
ocean.
tell him to try shooting them. You will crit the ocean and it will die.
I want to see how this plays out.
I mean, I made the suggestion for a reason.
I am curious as to how one stops in the ocean.
He like
Make
pulls
it
out his
really,
bow and
really
is like,
cold.
"Crap," and you just see like a whale come to the surface.
He did crit the ocean.
Don't tell him to shoot something. Unless you want something to die, don't let him aim his bow at it.
I'll just cure wounds anyway. You'll see what happens.
Landon is the most lethal member of the team so far.
I'm gonna create a cult, God Kaladin, and just hail Kaladin then.
Yeah, so you can go ahead. The crew, you are probably one of the least annoying people in here. And so the crew, you've been helping out, and so they're eagerly like, yeah, let's show you how to be a
I'm
crewman.
trying to do my best to pick up any ocean knowledge because I don't run ocean.
You know what? We're going to roll a die here really quick and see how well they are at convincing you to change your life and become a member of the crew.
I've already hired another campaign.
You're a
So
sailor.
it's a 15. So take that for whatever, you know. They roll a 15. They're like trying to persuade you. You're really good at this. Have you ever tried to like?
I feel like in another life maybe. I might have tried it. I don't know. I guess it's possible.
Some say the creatures of the ocean are quite the muse for such artists.
Yeah, I'll try painting some of those fancy mermaids I read so much about.
You don't want the mermaids around here. The mermaids around here are little. You're the mermaids in the ocean next door.
The ocean next door.
What's the difference between them?
Atlantic and Pacific.
Which half is the fish half?
Got
Oh no.
The ones around here are human legs, fish bodies. It's not good. He's like, I am a sub-nautical person, and no.
it. It's too far for even you then.
Their legs just flail about with their little fins going.
They have this weird website called OnlyFins.
They're really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, so, Brian, what are you doing right now?
I guess I want to try to see if there's any, as we're going through the oceans, any creatures within the waters that I may be able to commune with. Whether it be, of intelligent creature. I'm not gonna speak to a fish.
A flounder's like,
Sup? I seen Little Mermaid
Bug?
up there.
There's
Bug?
moose up there.
Bug? Bug?
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to see if there's any like dolphins, any whales, any other Kligiks, some flying around, some of that I'm able to have a conversation to help glean of the passage of time that we're trying to piece together.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a d20 for me. And
15?
a 15, yeah. So you actually come in contact with a. So how are you doing this? Are you like getting into the water, like hanging off of like a line?
Yeah, I guess I'm like looking over the bow to see if I can find anything through the water. If there is something that does catch my attention, then I'll lower myself down.
You know what? While you're looking down, Captain Taz comes along, and she knows that you are a former ambassador and you've got some clout, and so she comes over and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I am gazing upon the myriads of creatures in the ocean to see if there's anything that I can figure out about what may have happened in these lost months that we have gone through.
I would also like to know that if there is anything I or my crew can do to help you with that, let us know.
Yeah, just leave the boat down just a smidge for maybe an hour. So that way I have, I can keep up swimming.
I will reduce us half speed for 1 hour.
That's all I ask.
So with that, yeah, you come in contact with a group of Kliggit that are like traders that go back and forth.
What type of trader?
They trade goods. They are going in between the Kliggit Island, and I'll get the map off the wall. So, we'll say you guys are somewhere in this area right here. And they come from Kliggik and go up to Jolium and back to Kliggik.
Where am I?
You're on the boat. The boat is about right here, and this line right here, you intersect. We'll say you're right about where the compass rose is.
Okay.
What part of the boat?
The whole boat. Only the back half.
The front half is already there.
That's why we're trying to get there.
It's like the
Trying to
Enterprise.
catch up to ourselves.
Yeah.
The Enterprise going into warp, we're like, you just haven't gotten the back half there yet. That is not a great place because I can't see anything.
It's like the Slinky from Toy Story. The backhand just has to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, what do you want to ask him?
Who?
So, good flounderings, gentlemen. I've been aboard this vessel for quite a while. Where have you, where's the currents been taking you?
One of them recognizes you as a former ambassador.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, ambassador. We were just going to Jolium. We are traders from Kliggik, and we go to get some gemstones from Jolium here and now when time's passed.
Excellent, excellent. How has the whole been?
It's been very profitable, and we've made quite a bit these past few months.
So it's good to hear that we are excelling in our ventures.
Is everybody else on the boat?
Yes. He is underwater. Everyone else is on dry boat.
Yeah.
Now, do you, either one of you know anything about the city of Thawne?
City of Thome.
Yes.
I believe I have gone to Thome a few times and trading with them.
You can